Dear learners, welcome back. In this session, we are going to learn about the government schemes and initiatives for development of tourism infrastructure in the country. The agenda of the session is to highlight why tourism, then what is the government doing, then we'll discuss about the key government initiatives to promote tourism infrastructure in the country. Then we'll discuss about the tourism infrastructure opportunities available, and lastly the various government schemes for this sector. Now, why tourism? Because tourism involves journey, it involves adventure, it involves tour guide, it involves your hotel, it involves your travel, it involves cruise, it involves trips, it involves vacation experts, it involves aeroplanes, railways, and a whole gamut of things. We believe, as per the United Nations World Tourism Organization, that the world will have 1.4 billion tourists by 2020 and 1.8 billion tourists by 2030. This target or projection of 1.4 billion tourists has already been achieved in the year 2018, well 2 years ahead of what was projected for. That means the growth has been phenomenal and the growth has been above the expectations and the projections. Why tourism? Because tourism has emerged as one of the key enablers of growth worldwide. This sector significantly contributes towards the socio-economic progress through employment generation, foreign exchange earnings, and infrastructure development. While the global economy grew at 3.2% in 2018, travel and tourism witnessed a growth of 3.9%, higher than sectors such as construction, retail, wholesale, healthcare, etc. Foreign tourist arrivals crossed 10 million and international tourist arrivals crossed 15 million in 2018. In 2018, we had around 10.55 million foreign tourists coming to India, including the NRIs. The figure goes up to 15 million. And this is a growth trend which is expected to continue over the coming years. However, the consumption of domestic tourists remains the key strength for the sector in India, which is much stronger than the global average. The top 10 source countries accounted for 65.80% of the total inbound tourist flows in the country in 2017, which includes Bangladesh at number 1, then United States, then United Kingdom, Canada, and followed by Australia. Foreign tourist arrivals from most of the top source countries grew during the last few years. Now coming to the point of what is the government doing. The Government of India has recently been focusing upon fast-track infrastructure development and promoting tourism digitally. Sustained efforts have led to a jump of 25 places in World Economic Forum Travel and Tourism Competitive Index ranking between 2013 and 2017. 2013 we were at 65th place and 2017 we have jumped up to 40th place in the entire world. Infrastructure development for various thematic segments across the country has received a significant boost through the schemes like Swadesh Darshan, Prashad, and further initiatives such as 24/7 Tourist Helpline, 1363 in 12 international languages, then Swachh Pariyatan mobile app, launch of adventure tourism guidelines, among others, have positively impacted the sector. The government has been actively engaging on the publicity and promotion front as well and has launched the Incredible India 2.0 campaign with market-specific content and advertising. Efforts of Ministry of Tourism have been complemented by progressive initiatives by other ministries such as the UDAN scheme, that is Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, or the Regional Connectivity Scheme by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, tourist trains by the Ministry of Railways, Sagarmala project and development of lighthouses by the Ministry of Shipping, among others. Key government initiatives to promote inbound tourists include the Ministry of Tourism has introduced an e-visa facility which is extended to 168 countries with relaxed application window, duration and number of entry norms. Launched Incredible India 2.0 campaign with market specific content and advertising, plan to set up 5 special tourist zones in partnership with various states. New tourism policies to be launched, and under Swadesh Darshan scheme, the government has identified 15 circuits on specific themes for development. During 2018-19, a total of 7 projects worth INR 384.67 crore have been sanctioned under the scheme. Under Prasad scheme, 25 religious sites have been identified for development. The ministry has released 83.24 crore for the project sanction under Prasad till March 31st, 2018. Ministry of Tourism has also launched India's first adventure tourism guidelines, and I'm happy to say that Indian Institute of Tourism and Travel Management and its center in Goa by the name of National Institute of Water Sports has been the pioneering institution in preparing this adventure tourism guidelines. It covers 29 land, air and water-based activities, detailing out the role of a guide, important equipments required, operational instructions, risk mitigation, medical facility, among others. And these are all areas where infrastructure development has to take place. In September 2018, first ever India Tourism Mart 2018 was organized in partnership with the FAITH. FAITH stands for the Federation of Associations in Indian Tourism and Hospitality, and launched Swachh Bharat Pariyatan app, 24/7 tourist helpline in 12 international languages. Now discussing about the key government initiatives. Firstly, we'll discuss about the initiatives of the Ministry of Civil Aviation. New civil aviation policy of 2016 for enhancing connectivity by making air travel safe, secure, affordable. 6 airports across major cities have been developed under the public-private partnership model. Then we have the Udan scheme, wherein low-cost flights for boosting regional connectivity, launch of dedicated airline service to Northeast has been done, and of course the encouragement to seaplanes and helicopter services for tourism operations. Now coming to the Ministry of Railways, ISATC, that is Indian Railways Catering and Tourism Corporation, is a dedicated agency to promote rail tourism. They have been launching tourist trains, promoting pilgrimage and heritage circuits through railways. Then semi-high-speed trains like Gatiman Express and Tejas Express for enhanced connectivity between key tourism destinations, and redevelopment of stations for increased tourist amenities. I'm happy to tell you that during the first month of operation of Tejas Express, through Tejas Express, ISATC earned a revenue of 3.7 crores. Out of that, 70 lakh has been the operational profit on running this train, which is a very healthy profit margin as well. Then coming to the Ministry of Shipping, Ministry of Shipping has developed 78 lighthouses for tourism under the PPP model. Now these lighthouses not only act as a lighting source for the direction of the ships, but these are beautiful houses, they are beautiful buildings, beautiful towers which are located in very exclusive locations, and hence they act as a major tourist center as well. So with the development of these 78 lighthouses, it will be a major source of earning for the local population around these lighthouses. The local villages will get benefit of all kinds because of the flow of tourists, and of course the tourists will also be able to get a look into the beautiful surroundings of the lighthouse and enjoy. An action plan for the development of cruise tourism and cruise tourism policy has already been done, and Sagarmala project is a flagship project to connect the oceanic ports of the country, oceanic and sea ports of the country, where India has 7,500 plus kilometers of coastline, including the islands, and main coastline runs around 7,200 kilometers. So Sagarmala project will be connecting all these as modernized Indian ports, and which will help in developing tourism infrastructure a long way in these port cities. Now coming to the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, 7-phase National Highway Development Project for boosting transport infrastructure of the country has been initiated. A special accelerated road development program for the northeastern region has been done, and 100% FDI has been allowed under the automatic rule in road and highways sector. Now coming to the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change. Online submission of applications for environment and CIAZ clearance to ensure faster approvals and transparency has been initiated by the Ministry of Environment. Integrated islands management plans for the 10 islands of Lakshadweep has been done, and it has identified 275 eco-sensitive zones around the national parks and the wildlife sanctuaries. Now, this eco-sensitive zones will be a great boost because some sort of infrastructure development will take place over there as well. And of course, the local people living in around these eco-sensitive zones in national parks and wildlife sanctuaries will get all sorts of benefits that the tourism flow brings in to the local population. Then of course, the launch of Green India Mission with the vision of enhancing India's tree cover to 33% by 2022. Ministry of Culture has established a project MOSM to establish cross-cultural linkages to revive historic maritime, cultural and economic ties with 39 Indian Ocean countries. I mean, it's a mega project. Then e-ticketing platform for ASI ticketing monuments has also been launched. India has risen internationally in the ease of doing business with the efforts of the government in the last so many years. Business ease doing our standards are rising up, and in the ease of doing business, our position in the world, ranking in the world is also increasing with passage of every year. Then we have initiatives like Make in India, wherein aviation is one of the major sectors for infrastructure development for tourism spots as well. Places like Northeast and Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities will be greatly connected through this Udan scheme, where the government also proposes to pay the viability fee if there is a difference between this operational expenses and operational revenues. So government has, under this policy of Udan, initiated that for the first hour of flying, 50% of the seats should be sold at not more than 2,500 rupees per person. If there is a loss in that, then the government intends to pay it to the civil aviation company. And secondly, of course, for a particular route or a circuit, only one airline has been given a license, so there is no competition between airlines, and it benefits the airline as well as the local population, and that will enhance a huge tourism infrastructure development in terms of creating aviation infrastructure. Then we also have tourism. I'm happy to say that Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi has said that for the growth of India in the 21st century, we will be requiring 5 T's, and one of these 5 T's he has designated as tourism. So the government recognizes the economic importance of tourism in generating money, getting foreign exchange earnings, and moreover creating employment opportunities for the youth of the country. Infrastructure now to propel opportunities. We'll discuss about this now. Bharatmala Pariyojana. It aims to build a new highway grid across the country by 2022. Then we have the Smart Cities Mission. We have $14 billion railway station modernization project, right? And that will be done through the Indian Railway Station Development Corporation. So a new corporation has been set up. The job of that corporation is only to modernize the railway stations, wherein the government intends to spend $14 billion. So in the coming times or the coming times to come, we might experience the same sort of experience that we have at an airport in a railway station now. So railway stations will be at par with the airports probably, and they will compete with the airlines in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the facilities given at the railway stations. Then we also have a Swachh Bharat mission, under which development projects are taken all across the country. And we have a Sagarmala project. I've already discussed this with you, and we have 175 gigawatt installed renewable capacity project to be targeted by 2022. We have various industrial corridors like Amritsar, Delhi, Kolkata Industrial Corridor, Bangalore, Mumbai Economic Corridor, Chennai, Bangalore Industrial Corridor, Delhi, Mumbai Industrial Corridor, Visakhapatnam, Chennai Industrial Corridor. These all corridors are a great source of infrastructure development. Wherever infrastructure will be developed, people will reside, and of course there will be a lot of business tourism coming to these industrial corridor areas, thereby creating a boost for overall infrastructure development in these corridor areas. Then we have Udan scheme, which I have already told you. It's a Uday Desh Ka Aam Nagarik scheme, and Airport Authority of India has will connect 22 airports under this regional connectivity scheme in the first phase itself, and overall more than 125 airports are to be connected throughout the country. It is a massive scheme and will boost a lot of tourism, boost a lot of infrastructure development because of the faster connectivity of mode, that is through air, right, through this Udan scheme. Now we are discussing about the infrastructural opportunities to propel the growth factor. Now coming to aviation sector and the infrastructural opportunities available over there, I'm happy to say that aviation is one of the fastest growing industries in India, and the aviation sector is poised to be the growth engine for the future progress. It is a vital sector for linking businesses, bringing people together, promoting tourism worldwide, and in the last 2 decades the growth of air passenger traffic in India has opened up tremendous amount of opportunities. In the years to come, India's domestic air travel will be the third largest in the entire world. And of course, when the tourism infrastructure will be created through aviation projects, it will be great boost up for India, because we have a large pool of engineering talent with low labor costs, and India also has a great potential to be a global aviation hub for the MRO facilities, that is the maintenance, repair and overhauling. Currently, India has 464 airports and airstrips, out of which 125 airports are owned by the Airport Authority of India. We have 5 Indian carriers and 81 foreign carriers operating in India. 78% of the domestic passenger traffic is managed by the Airport Authority of India, and 22% of international passengers traffic is managed by the Airport Authority of India. India is connected to the most major cities and the countries in the world. Between 2000 April and June 2018, we've had around 1.16 million US dollars of FDI coming into the country. We are the fastest growing aviation market in the world, which speaks a lot in itself. 8 million jobs supported by the aviation sector currently, and 181.72 million domestic passengers fly within the country, and 30.30 million international flights to and from India. Right, these are some of the figures. US dollar 72 billion is the contribution to India's GDP by the aviation sector, and 950 million through the maintenance, repairs and overhaul, that is MRO industry at present. We have 1.43 million domestic aircrafts flown so far, and 2.41 million tons of freight has been carried. In the last 5 years, our passenger traffic growth has been 14.1% year on year, and that is a phenomenal figure. Then the programs which we have for infrastructure development, there are orders to almost 600 business jets, 300 small aircrafts and 250 helicopters to be added to the existing Indian fleet. Currently we had 618 aircrafts flying in the year in the month of November 2019. With the onset of companies like Indigo, they have already given a largest single aircraft order, which is Airbus A320 neo model, and with those 300 aircrafts coming to the fleet of Indigo, Indigo will have its fleet size increased to 750 in the coming years to come. Currently, we have 618 aircrafts flying in the air. I'm not talking of the grounded ones. This 618 are flying in the air, and just imagine in the coming years, Indigo alone will have 750 aircrafts of its own. Then we have Navi Mumbai Airport project coming up with $2.58 billion investment going into it. 6 new greenfield airports are being developed in Andhra Pradesh under the PPP model. Airport modernization in 2 non-metro towns in the northeastern region. Then airport modernization projects by AAI. Then MRO facilities development. And then aviation in the northeast. Guwahati as being inter-regional hub, and Agartala, Imphal and Dibrugarh as intra-regional hubs are being developed. Special economic zones, aerotropolis, yani ki cities which are developed around the airports. That model is to increase revenue from retail, advertising and vehicle parking, and also from security equipment and services. Government support is through a viability gap funding to airline operators operating in unserved and underserved locations on routes ranging up to 800 kilometers. Government has already approved 17 greenfield airports in the country, which are to be executed and financed by the respective airport operators or owners at an estimated investment of around 30,000 crores. Then Air Seva mobile application has been launched, and initiatives like Wings 2017 allows state government to market themselves to the airline operators. Airport projects in Dholera in Gujarat, Jewar Airport in Greater Noida in Uttar Pradesh, MRO complex project again at Jewar Airport, Uttar Pradesh, and airport project phase 2 in Chennai, Tamil Nadu are all in the pipeline. Once this Jewar International Airport, which will be approximately 100 odd kilometers from Indira Gandhi International Airport in New Delhi, so it will be the second airport in NCR area, and once it's fully operational, it will have 6 runways and a capacity of handling more than 125 lakh people per annum. So Jewar Airport will become India's largest airport in times to come. Now coming to railways. Indian Railways is 3rd largest railway network in the world and 4th largest rail freight carrier in the world and 8th largest employer in the world, and it is of course the highest employer among the public sector undertakings in the entire world with 13 lakh employees on its roll. 23 million passengers on an average are ferried each day, and 73,000 railway stations are maintained by this sector across the country. 1.4 million people currently directly employed by the Indian Railways, that's 14 lakh. Just a correction, it's not 13 lakh, it's a 14 lakh. Potential is huge. 4,76,000 hectares of prime land is owned by the Indian Railways. Then PPP opportunities in maintenance, redevelopment of stations, building private freight terminals and private containers and train operators and operations. National Railway Plan 2030 is to provide long-term perspective to planning by integrating the rail network with other modes of transport. Foreign Rail Technology Corporation scheme is there to attract private sector investment. Then there is a policy on participative models for rail connectivity and capacity augmentation projects. And we have a new export policy for railways wherein 100% FDI under automatic route is allowed. Indian Railways also strives to create 1 million new jobs, which is huge. The programs which are in the pipeline are like bullets train and the conduction of semi-high speed trains. Then we have high speed rail corridors, dedicated freight corridors. All these are infrastructure opportunities and avenues for tourism development. Then modernization of Indian railway stations, I just had deliberated upon that. Upgrade the coaches, then e-ticketing and improved passenger on-board experience. Boosting the indigenous manufacturing, new lines, track conversions and doubling of the existing routes. Robotics and Industry 4.0 in production, and transforming Indian Railways to a green railway gauge conversation. Government has various support systems like state incentives on land, power, rates of interest on loans, investment subsidies and special incentive packages for mega projects. Then area-based initiatives and incentives for special economic zones and special areas such as the Northeast, the Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, etc. We have projects in pipeline for massive rapid transport system. Apart from 62 ongoing projects offering investment opportunities and dedicated areas or dedicated freight corridor projects as well. Now coming to the tourism and hospitality sector, we have 2.3% domestic tourist visits, the growth rate, 13.4% growth rate in foreign tourist arrivals, 12% GDP from international tourism, 10.2% earnings in foreign exchange has been growth, and 14.5% growth has been witnessed in the electronic visas. We do have a lot of niche tourism offerings like cruise tourism. We've had two recent launches in cruise tourism, indigenous companies. One is Angaria, which is supposed to be the first cruise line of India. Then Jalesh Cruises have also started operation in India. And we have ecotourism. We just told you that 275 eco-sensitive zones has been identified by the Ministry of Environment across the national parks and wildlife sanctuaries of the country. We have adventure tourism, wherein adventure tourism policy and guidelines are already in force now. We have rural tourism, then golf tourism, polo tourism, wellness tourism, film tourism, medical tourism, and of course one of the fastest growing sector is of MICE. MICE stands for meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions. Now coming to the performance, we are first in the world in terms of direct contribution to employment as per the figures of 2016. Third in WTTC travel and tourism power and performance. We are the 7th largest tourism economy in the world. We are the 9th largest in cultural resources and business travel in the world. And 14.6 million jobs have been created by the tourism industry between 2014 and 2018, which is phenomenal. 250 tourism infrastructure related projects worth $5.8 are in the pipeline. 250 tourism infrastructure related projects. Then we have 5 mega economic tourism zones to attract global tourism players. Udaan scheme, destination circuits, public-private partnership programs for infrastructure improvements, and of course improved support functions such as package tour services, cab services, recreational facilities at tourist locations, etc. Then we also have a government support system by allowing 100% FDI in tourism and allied businesses, and visa policy is conducive to investments in the tourism sector. India's national tourism policy aims to promote India as a 365-day tourist destination. The various programs that is being undertaken for infrastructure development are like 73 theme-based circuits covering 30 states and union territories. 73, that covers the entire country. Then integrated development of iconic tourist sites and pilgrimage destinations. 9 projects launched under the Swadesh Darshan scheme in Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Nagaland, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. Then we have a scheme of Adopt a Heritage. The project conducted in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture and the Archaeological Survey of India. And government initiatives have that tax incentives by the state and central government. Then we have assistance in large revenue generation projects, public-private partnership schemes in infrastructure development, carrying capacity of service provider incentives for setting up projects in special areas, right? And investment from the point of view of investment, we have Amaravati Theme Park in Amaravati, which is coming up, Gorai Entertainment Park in Mumbai, Samukha Tourism Park in Puri, Dadasaheb Film City in Mumbai, and Nirmal Nag Riverfront in Nagpur. So for promotion of all these infrastructural sectors, we also have schemes like Startup India, We have schemes of multiple grant schemes for IT and research development. We have schemes of MSME, Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises. We have a scheme of Atal Incubation Centers, which is headed by Atal Innovation Mission, which aims to promote innovation entrepreneurship in India, and so on. Then we have Startup India, Make in India, Atal Mission, support training and employment program for women, that is STEP, Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile. Then we have Stand Up India scheme. We have a trade scheme of MSME, trade related entrepreneurship assistance and development scheme. Of course, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, under which National Skill Development Mission has been created, and the National Skill Development Corporation, which is a specialized agency for development of skills, and it says, its logo says transforming the skill landscape. And under this NSDC, 54 different sectors have been identified, and each sector has a sectoral skill development council. The job of that sectoral skill council is to develop training programs and skills of the youth in that particular sector itself. National Skill Development Mission has sub-missions across India, which are like institutional training, infrastructure, convergence, trainers, overseas employment, sustainable livelihoods, leveraging public infrastructure and such. And I would end up over here by telling you about 9 schemes which are for women entrepreneurs in India. That includes for infrastructure development. I'll just read out the scheme names. Details are there to be seen. TREAD scheme for women, then Bharatiya Mahila Bank, ALEAP and CGTSI scheme, which is run by the Andhra Bank. Then Akshay Mahila Arthik Sahay Yojana, Bank of Baroda runs it. Then schemes for professional and self-employed scheme, self-employed women, run by Oriental Bank of Commerce. Dena Shakti scheme by Dena Bank, which is now part of Bank of Baroda. Then Stree Shakti package run by State Bank of India. Cent Kalyani by Central Bank, and of course Marketing Fund for Women, which is run by Small Industries Development Bank of India, that is SIDBI. So today we have learned about the various government schemes and initiatives. So dear learners, we have discussed in this session about the various government schemes and initiatives for the development of tourism infrastructure in the country, and I would appeal to all the learners to individually go into the sites of ministries like Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Ministry of Culture, Ministry of MSME, Ministry of Shipping, to learn in detail about these various infrastructural development schemes, and try and see what entrepreneurial avenues can be there through these schemes for you all. With so much of development taking place around, with so much of development in the tourism infrastructure sector, tourism facilitation sector and everything, it is a huge and great employment opportunity, and moreover I would say it's a huge and great entrepreneurial opportunity for all of us. It is up to us to grab these opportunities, to know more about these opportunities and get into the well and play your cards over there well as an entrepreneur in the tourism sector. Wish you all the very best of luck, and thank you so much.